BEMSEE round 2 at Oulton Park, test day. We're all set up. We've got Suggy over there. Bike looking sharp. Aussie. Me. The weather is beautiful. Hopefully we have a good day and we'll let you know how the round goes. Definitely going to get to speak to some more people this weekend, and we'll actually get them on camera and have a chat with them. See you in a bit. I'm here with Nigel Terry, number 65, CB500 middleweight class.
I am middleweight class, top of the middleweight class.
Top of the middleweight class. Nigel, you had a bit of a rough Brands hatch, bike problems.
Yeah, I didn't finish the race at Brands, had suspension and carburation issues, and then exhaust came off in the last race.
Okay.
So, yeah, a bit of a learning curve.
Yep. Better around here though?
It's better around here, but the bike has been more reliable. We've got a lot of the issues sorted. We're just starting to get the suspension sorted now and different things, but I'm on my wet bike. So we're sort of starting from base and working up, but every session I'm getting quicker. Good. So, yeah.
And you enjoying the bike, enjoying the circuit?
I'm loving it. It's a real challenge here. I think it's harder than Cadwell.
Yeah.
So I've never been there before, and it's very up and down, very blind. Yeah. It's a very challenging circuit. But
yeah.
It's very when you get it right, it's good.
Yeah, good. Well, what's your aim for today?
My aim for today is probably just to get under 2 minutes 10, and just try and get more consistent. Yep. And
it's still a new class to you, isn't it? So you're still learning the bike. Obviously, new circuit. So that all comes with time. You're also taking an interesting approach to the weekend. You've not got any tyre warmers on the CB500.
No, I use God's own tyre warmers, the sun.
You're lucky we've got some, to be fair.
Which we do have today, but I'm luckily, I mean, at Brands it was really, really cold. Yeah. And it was a struggle to get heat in the tyres anyway without tyre warmers. Yeah. But for Snetterton, I will have the tyre warmers on. Yeah. And
well, it's brave. It's fair play for giving it a go with no warmers.
Well, we did try, but we couldn't run them on the generator, so it was just overloading Jenny.
That's all right. Well, good luck for the races today, and we'll see you at Snetterton. We'll have a catch up and chat to you then.
Yeah, things should be moving on then. Should be getting better sorted, and hopefully a good Snetterton. It's a circuit I know a bit, so
good.
Yeah,
all right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, Nigel. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Everyday Racer. I'm Sean. I'm here with Mark, and this is our round 2 at Oulton Park BEMSEE podcast review. You will have just seen a little intro from the weekend from my GoPro footage, and a small interview with one of the riders Nigel Terry. And there was actually, as we said last time, we did what we was going to do and interviewed a few riders, which was great. We spoke to the Dwyers, and we spoke to Declan Reeve and a couple of others. And unfortunately, we had a camera malfunction and almost all of the footage is a complete waste. We've got the audio, so we might layer it in and show you some of the audio, and just put a picture of who's actually speaking at the time. See how genius I can end up with the editing. But so we are now post autumn. We're both back at home. It's actually a couple of weeks after autumn. We've both been busy doing bits. We both had fairly eventful weekends, I'd say.
Definitely.
Yeah. The joy of this podcast is that we are going to try and be as honest as we can about everything that that we do, and we'll be honest with everyone and the people about how it can go. And if you'll have seen either of our bikes, you'll know that both of us are quite particular. We both like our bikes to look nice and be well prepared, and it doesn't actually matter how well prepared you think you are, because I had a terrible weekend with electrical faults, missed 2 of the 3 races, and didn't get it sorted until just before the last race. Mark had a brilliant weekend, which we'll talk about, but unfortunately that didn't end well for him either, and he also has had to work on his bike. Shall we...
Spent the winter rebuilding it, I wanted to have to redo it again.
So,
after race 1 for me, so not ideal.
The joys of motorcycle racing, I guess. Let's. Should we quickly talk about our weekends first, then we'll talk about everybody else's. Just really briefly. We're not going to go too mad onto our weekend woes. But Mark, you had a really good qualifying, and you were where were you on the grid? 10th on the grid. Yeah. So a decent qualifying, a 2-minute lap, which was matching your PB round Oulton Park, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did that with Oulton, with no limits at Oulton, end of last year. So yeah, I was, not bad for me.
Yep.
To start off.
Yeah, and so you put yourself in a really good position. Yeah. I didn't get out with you in qualifying, unfortunately. We got split up, and the plan was with mine not being there much. Well, say not being there much. I'd only been there for the day before. I've never been to Oulton. I needed the tow round really because it is a lot to learn in a day, especially in our test day, which as good as and fun as it was quite a challenging test day in with the mini twins as CBs because unless you are in, I would say in the top quarter of the mini twin grid, you are parking the bike in the middle of the corner compared to a CB, and it makes it very hard for a CB to get a decent lap in. But anyway, we got split up, and I didn't have a great qualifying. I went round on my own essentially, and was pretty slow at 2:03 something.
It's bloody hard if you've not got someone to follow. I think I said this in my video. I find qualifying the hardest bit because you've got to get someone to follow that's going to drag you along. You've got to push it, but obviously, not too much where you do something stupid. And it's hard, and if you've never done it, it's like when I go down to Brands Hatch, I'll be trying to follow you around because it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is with Brands, and I said this to some of the novices that we'd been talking to from Brands in between and at the racing, that Brands can lead you into a false sense of security because it's 5 corners. So you look at a lap time and you think, oh, well, I'm only a second and a half, 2 seconds away from the people nearer the front. And by the time you get to Oulton with 13 corners, that spreads out quite drastically. And the difference between the riding at the front and the riding at the back of the grid is quite drastic. But yeah, I needed a tow and I didn't get one. And it was okay. I was next to Peter Woodall, who I'd raced around with at Brands and knew that he would get quicker. And I had Rob Carver in front of me, who's done a lot of Oulton Park, yourself. I could see everybody in front of me that I needed in front of me to get the tow I needed in the race to have a good race. Unfortunately, in brief, my bike decided as I rolled up to my starting position that it would stall, and I thought I'd just stalled it and fired my bike up, and it was blatantly running on one cylinder as the marshal was walking off and pointing at the red lights. And I didn't have time. I kind of went to put my hand up and realised the lights were going to go out. And I made the decision to just rev and launch the bike. So I was at least rolling because I had... Yeah. I mean, although I didn't qualify great, I still had 20 riders behind me nearly, I think it was. So I did that and they all managed to avoid me. So thanks for that, everybody. I do appreciate it. Sorry about that. And then I pulled off and yeah, so my race one was over, but your race one was not over. Your race one started quite well.
Yeah, I did all right. I came 6th and then 8th overall. So obviously we've got the classes, haven't we? It's the 6 in the C2 class. So yeah, like I say, I was pretty happy with that.
Yep.
Not too bad.
Yeah, winner of that race for... well, actually, before we talk about the race, let's talk about the qualifying. I guess we're on the qualifying subject. Josh Owens turned up to get some practice, I guess, Josh needed on his CB500. I think he was also riding his Fireblade as well. And although Josh Owens was in the race, Josh Owens, it doesn't look like collected points or prizes because of his position and status and races at British level. So Josh was on pole at 156. But yeah, we'll put him to one side because he's relevant, but it isn't. James Llewellyn returned to racing after a little break. I don't think we've seen him. I don't think he wasn't at round 1 for no limits. So yeah, James Llewellyn came back and he was on the sort of real pole, if you like, and then Finn Chalk, James Cottenham, who turned up from No Limits, last year's No Limits CB500 winner. Deck Reeve had come back, which was good to see, and Max McRae has made a return to racing. Was on form all weekend, and he was in the C3 class, if I remember rightly.
Well, actually, it says C2 on here, but
I think he was C3 after qualifying, because after qualifying was away in. And then Jake Corty, who did very well at Brands Hatch in C1. And then some usual suspects. Fraser was over. Fraser Hedginson from the Isle of Man. Looked like he enjoyed himself. Adrian Kershaw was back again and was riding very well. Yeah.
From what I heard, yeah.
Yeah. With a what?
Working bike.
With a working, well, yeah,
it wasn't working,
with a working bike, yeah. It definitely looked like it was working. Obviously, and then it was you rounding out the top 10 on the grid. Yeah. Fastest rookie was James Tucker, and fastest heavyweight was Ian Carter in qualifying.
Yeah,
so
James did well all weekend. He was surrounded around me all the way through, and
yeah,
I'm thinking, who the hell is this?
Yeah,
constantly coming past, and obviously with being light as well. It pretty quick.
Yeah, quick guy, quick newcomer. It's good to see. So you had a fairly solid race. You didn't beat your PB, but you got out and raced and put yourself in a fairly decent position for race 2.
Yeah.
I went back to the tent and thought I'd fixed my bike. We all it was only one race on the first day, qualifying in one race, so I had to go to bed with the raging arse, thinking that I'd spoiled my day, and I had. And we actually we decided that we would go and have a beer in the club with the SF Parts lot, Max McRae, Abby Marshall, and numerous other people. Gary, Roy Wilson was on form in the pub, and we had a fairly enjoyable night, and then we set about racing the next day. Racing the next day, we all wished each other good luck, and off we trot. And my bike decided to play up again, this time on the warm-up lap, so at least I didn't have to line up on the grid and risk getting cream, so I pulled off. But you had a really good race. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I actually came 8th in that one instead of the 6th like in the first one, but I managed to do, like I said, a faster lap. So, everybody's pace was just obviously faster. For me, I think I said this on my own video, I was pleased with just getting under the 2 minutes. It was just, when you've got like a thing that you're aiming for, and for me it was just like, if I get under 2 minutes, I'll be pretty happy with that, and I did. I put me 10th overall, and also a nice battle with Fraser and another lad as well. I think it was Danny Cartwright, is it? I think so.
Deck Reeve?
Yeah, he was just in front of me. I was catching him up, but Deck's still quite a bit faster than I am. But yeah, in general though, like I say, it was a good battle for that, and that's what you want in it. At the end of the day, that's the faster lot had gone and left a huge gap, and then it was like the next bunch, and obviously I was trying to mix it up with those guys. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So the race two was obviously it was a bit. It's interesting really, because Josh Owens obviously went off and did his thing, did a 154. Yeah. So we kind of discount him for a second. Finn Chalk did really well, 156.8, and was typically Finn Chalk fast. And then there was someone called Alfie Davidson had turned up, also from BSB, in I think rides in sport in the sport bike class, but British level rider, came from the back of the grid, I think, and absolutely blitzed everybody, and got up to second in class and third overall, with, I think, possibly bar Josh the fastest lap of the race. Bar Josh the fastest lap of the race.
It's funny because Alfie came up to us at the start to buy some scrub tyres off me, and with his dad, and I was like, have you ridden the CB before? And he was like, no, never. I was like, right, okay. I had no idea he was, and he was like, have you done many track days then? And he was like, well, I had no idea, so obviously he was just laughing. But yeah, showed us how quick he is from back of the grid. I think he was in that one. I think he turned up late, didn't he? So no qualifying, back of the grid, passes me with ease, and off he goes.
Yeah. So so we're kind of in a bit of a catch-22 of we feel like we should discuss these riders, but we also feel like the whole point of the bike and the whole point of the class is that it's the everyday racing bike for everyday people. So as great as it is to see these guys turn up and do really well and show us what the bikes can do, we're kind of discounting them from our sort of results. I don't know if Alfie actually picked up points. I'm not sure. But as far as I'm aware, the BEMSEE sort of mantra is that if you're a British level rider, you're here for practice. But as far as I can tell. So Finn Chalk won. Technically, James Cottenham was second, but whether or not that stood or not, I actually don't know. And then Adrian Kershaw, James Llewellyn, Jake Corty, Fraser, Deck, and you rounding out the top 10 with first rookie was James Tucker. First C3, so first heavyweight was Ian Carter. I went back to my awning with the ump again. Not great. All I did was essentially I went back and pulled my bike apart again and replaced just about everything, or I thought I'd fixed it from the first race and I hadn't. Turns out I had a dodgy coil, which was only a couple of years old, but I just replaced the one coil and bike ran fine after that. So anyway, on to the last race of the weekend, really. Well, not weekend, nearly weekend. It was a half weekend, wasn't it? Because we were there. We were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday this time for Oulton Park, which was fantastic for BEMSEE to put on. So Josh Owens again, Alfie Davidson, they both first and second, and Finn Chalk decided to go home. Not really sure why. But Finn Chalk had gone home before the start of the race, so we don't really know why that was, but did. Perhaps long drive back to Scotland and wanted to get back. This race I actually did manage to start from 28th on the grid, so quite far back, and knew that I had some work to do. Got a good start, threaded the needle between Chris Rowland and I think it was Dean Carver maybe, or someone else. And managed to make some moves and get eventually catching up to. I had a good race with Rob Carver, ended
seventh, did it?
Seventh in class, with a 2 minute dead, but really I was a little bit disappointed. No, it wasn't. I only did 2:01. Sorry, not a 2 minute dead, 2:01, which I was a little bit gutted about because I did feel like. If I'd have managed to start where I wanted to, or where I should have started in the first and second races, I'd have been further up. I'd have got the toes I needed, and I'd have got dragged on. I was fairly consistent in the last race, despite I was overtaking slower riders and didn't really have anyone faster to follow until I caught up with Rob and overtook Rob, and then had a good battle with Rob. I'll put some snippets of the overtaking that Rob and I were doing in. It was nice, real good fun to have a clean race with Rob, and he pulled over at the end of the race and said to me, when I saw you this time, I definitely wasn't letting you beat me again after Brands. I was like, fair enough. But I just wanted to finish the race by that point. So it was really good to have a nice ride around with Rob. Obviously, a little bit disappointed. I was racing round and it got to about lap 6 or no, maybe lap 5, and I see someone barrel rolling into the grass at the second chicane. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing all right, I think, in that race. For some reason, I thought I had a few people around me at the time. I didn't, so I was pushing myself, but I think I just got a bit lazy as well. I went into the corner. Again, it's on video. Probably could put a clip on as well. Just went into it tight and probably a bit too fast for what I should have done, and braking hard, and I just slid my front wheel down and off. That was it. Off I went. Yeah. But yeah, I was all right. I mean, it's like you slide across the grass, bump your head a few times. Bike took more of an impact. It looks like someone's hit it with a sledgehammer on the tank. I don't know how the hell that happens when it's it was a small tumble really, but yeah, otherwise, all right. Obviously not the way I wanted to end the weekend, but that's what it's like.
No, it's highs and lows, isn't it? And I think speaking to some of the other riders, they're already starting to find that, like especially the newcomers and the rookies.
Few crashes, weren't they, all weekend?
Yeah, there was crashes. I mean, Adrian Kershaw had actually crashed out the lap after you, I think, as well at the first chicane. So the lap after, so you crashed, we come round, and Adrian Kershaw was picking himself up off the floor as we got to the chicane. Ian Carter didn't crash. I think he had a problem. I overtook him, and then looking at my rear camera, I'm sure I saw him put his hand up at one point. And then there was a couple of others. I don't know whether they were crashes or just mechanicals or what.
There was Max who had a crash in the race before as well. I think I've got that on camera. A big cloud of dust on turn 1. I think it was.
Right. Our rider rep.
No, McRae.
Oh, Max. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Max McRae did have a big crash in. Was that turn 1?
Yeah, turn 1. I'm sure it was. Yeah, I saw a big cloud of dust as I went past. And did Abby crash as well? I'm not sure.
I think Abby did crash in the same race. Yeah, because Abby did manage to get back out for race 3. She was out in race 3. Abby went really well. All of the rookies again were really doing well.
Abby went on the podium on race 3, I'm sure. Yeah, 3rd in C1.
Yeah, 3rd in C1. Ryan Gregory won the rookies and also won his C3 class as well, because I think Max's bike was a little bit twisted from his his little accident. So well done to Ryan. He was riding really well, actually. I caught up with him when he was riding around with Ian Carter and Rob Carver. And he was riding really well. And it was impressive to see, actually. He was quite quick from the get-go. We got to say, get well soon to Nicky. Is it Nicky? Who crashed on the test day and managed to break his... Was he break his leg? Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, Nicky Dwyer broke his leg on the test day and didn't get to race. And we did plan to talk about that crash with the Dwyer lot on day 2. But obviously, with all of us with Mark and I having our problems, we kind of got sidelined on day 2. And as I said, we did get round and talk to quite a few different people, and we just unfortunately we had a lighting issue with one of the GoPros that we used for it, but we'll try and put some of the audio in. There was a bit of controversy this round to do with bikes, and it was mainly the controversy was brought up after the meeting on social media. It's not hard to see using TSL who gets disqualified for any reason at all. And I think it's worth mentioning that not all disqualifications are because someone is actively trying to cheat. Sometimes something's just not how it's supposed to be, and the reason for it is unbeknown to the rider. So one rider borrowed a bike, and it was a bit of a rocket ship, to be honest, from what we saw. And I believe the discussion went the way of, it's definitely not right. We can either strip it and you can put it back together yourself, or you can accept it, not take points, but still ride, and it is what it is. And I think the rider went for the, all right, I'll take it on the chin. The other rider won their bike in a raffle, and it was a little bit, not quite as quick as the other one, but it was a little bit faster than the rest of the bikes on the grid. But same thing, was given the opportunity to ride, not waste their money, and
which is fair.
Which is great and fair. We're a little bit confused about the way they're placed on the grid when this happens, because we kind of felt like that ideally, I know it's not ideal, but maybe that them disqualifications should mean you just start from the back of the grid, because it then puts you further back down the grid with another person to get in your way, and that can hold up your race because their bike's not legitimate. And through no fault of their own and through no fault of your own. So we're not sure how that should play out in future. But they kept their grid spots and they enjoyed the rest of their weekend, and they just went away knowing that they had to get it sorted for the next round, which was great of BEMSEE to let them carry on. And great that Mark Dent is easygoing and easy to get on with, understandable. And there's a lot of common sense used in policing things and scrutineering and everything else. And this was your first experience of BEMSEE, so what did you think of the weigh-in, the dyno, the scrutineering?
Yeah, I mean, it runs well for a start off. I mean, what I notice is obviously throughout the weekend it's quite chilled, but there's a lot of staff on everywhere you go. There's tons and tons of staff. So obviously when you're doing the weigh-in, you're doing the dyno and stuff, it's literally 2 minutes, isn't it? I handed my bike off, it went up to the little dyno truck they've got, did it, and then handed it back to me. But yeah, I think I do think the class weights probably need tweaking. They feel a bit wide in terms of the gap. I think it seems like everybody's a C2. The whole grid is nearly a C2 with a few mix of the others. So personally, I think that, but that's just my opinion, Whether they look at that, it's up to obviously BEMSEE. But generally, yeah, it runs so smooth. We did the weigh-in was supposed to be after qualifying, wasn't it? And in fact, I think the dyno runs are supposed to be after qualifying as well, weren't they? Before you're doing your races. That maybe could be a bit clearer, I guess, as to when we should come to have it done. But
weigh-ins after qualifying for people who haven't been weighed yet. Or if you really think you've managed to put on 12 kilos between rounds, feel free to go and get yourself weighed if you're trying to bump yourself up a class, or lost weight and think you can go down one, whatever. And then I think dynoing at Brands was after race one. They picked out the top 10 or people that hadn't been dynoed yet. So obviously they found the people that got dynoed. I hadn't actually spoken to anybody that hadn't been dynoed, so they are good at getting people on. And the dyno's accessible to you the whole weekend as well. Like when I actually finally did fix my bike, I ran it down to the dyno and said, "Can you dyno the bike and see if it works?" No problem at all. Literally, absolutely no question or qualms. Straight on the truck, dyno gave back to me. Did suggest that it would still be worth going out on the back of a grid, which was quite funny. I did go and test the bike on the back of the Thunderbike Ultra grid. But yeah, they're really accommodating. They can't do enough to get you going or keep you out. And even when your bike's not right, as in it's not legitimate. It's not just right. You've not brought a legitimate bike, it's your fault, go home, which I'm sure they were well within their right to. It probably says in the regs or in the small print, we can refuse you at any time. So I think from what I can gather, I've spoken to Mark is going to tweak the rules, the actual technical regulations, the wording, because the wording is a little confusing as to how it works, because the wording is basically ripped from the classic Thundersport regulations, which isn't plagiarism. That is the rules everybody uses. So they all pull them old regs and then you utilise those. But because BEMSEE's dyno reads notoriously modest, everybody else's bike is around about 47 horsepower. So you've got to assume that on a normal or average dyno, private dyno, you're about 50, 51-ish. So that's the ballpark because everybody is around that. And then a bike turns up, dyno's at 52, and then argues that they're within the regs. Obviously, Mark's point is that he can still say, I want to strip your bike. And then you've got to argue the toss of whether or not it's worth having your bike stripped when you're 4 or 5 horsepower above everybody else, and you've got to justify it. So there is method in the madness, I guess. But he is going to tweak the wording. I think they're going to bring their peak number down and maybe put on their dyno it has to be less than X. Yeah. So we'll soon see what that entails. But yeah, I agree with you on the weights. The weights I don't know if the weights are working out in the way that I thought they would, especially when the C1 class has got 3-4 riders in it at a weekend. I know we didn't have Paddy Moore at Oulton, and Paddy will be back for Snet, I believe. So that puts another C1 in. But C1 is going to be few and far between. Sub 75 kilograms in your gear is very, very light. So, I mean, I don't think anything, from what I can tell, I don't think anything's going to change with regards to regulations and classes this year. But it would be interesting to hear what people think about the classes and how.
Yeah, equally the higher end, the C3s, because I'm sure they're finding it useful as well. But it'd be good to hear the mix when
I guess.
Comments, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know what you think. I mean, if you're at the top end of C3, you're going to be enjoying the regs. You're going to be happy that the regs are the way they are because they suit you. You're doing well from them. If you're, it's hard because you want people to race fairly, but I think until we've got 2 grids worth of riders,
very
mixed grids, it doesn't. I don't think it's working in the way that it should. Because as we said, you've got people there that are heavyweights that are also rookies, but they'll do this year. They're only going to have a year's experience under their belt. They'll no longer be rookies, and they'll have done 10 race meets maybe, or they'll have done maybe 7 or 8 race meets, and then they're going to be up against Max McRae, who is C3 but also absolutely rapid, raced at British level at F900 Cup, and it just makes it a little bit hard to judge whether or not it is actually fair like this. Dave Stewart did know what he was doing. Not saying BEMSEE don't. This is how they wanted to do it this year, and I understand the reason why they've gone for it. But it worked having an elite category, a sportsman category, a freshman category, and a seniors category, because you've got one age-related class there, because you'd like to assume that them guys are going to start slowing up a little bit.
Unless your name's Adrian.
Unless your name's Adrian.
I might be doing some distrusters here. I don't know if he thinks that category, does he?
I mean, I have.
Adrian.
I have seen him. I mean, he's good. He's good looking for his age, but I'm sure he's over 40. And Thundersport was over 40. Was a senior.
He was telling me that he was raced these bikes a lot. So assumed.
Yeah. So we'll see what that entails. I think you may be better off having an elite category for people like Josh Owens, like Alfie Davidson. Anyone who's won a championship could very well sit in an elite class. Anyone that's been at British level could sit in an elite class and have a good race. Obviously, we don't have our previous alien riders. Finn turned up this weekend, but we don't have the Leanings, the Whitakers. We haven't got Shelton turned up yet, if he is turning up. The really quick people that everybody knows from this class to battle and show these BSB lads that have decided to turn up how they do it with their experience on these bikes. So, but I think as I mean, we had a full grid. We had 39 riders, 40 riders, and it was fantastic to see. I don't think it'll take long with the way it's been running, the sort of the traction it's been getting to attract another grid's worth of riders. So it is on the up, and then hopefully at the end of the year when they do when we get a final review of how the season's gone and Max gets his rider feedback as the rep, and the club gets its feedback from the riders as well, whether or not the rules will change with regards to classes. It's also a little confusing that the rookies are all also competing in the subclasses of the weights as well, which kind of I get, but also don't get. Yeah, so we'll see. But nice to see lots of people. We had a lovely time in our sort of our patch at the paddock. We had Brian Murphy. I've got to say big thanks to Brian, actually. before the last race, when I still wasn't sure if I'd fixed my bike yet, Brian offered me his bike and said, "Look, if you want to race, I can come here anytime. I've ridden here loads. Take my bike and race my bike for the last one," which was really, really nice of him. So thanks, Brian. Really appreciate that, mate. Nice of you to offer. Coincidentally, I got it fixed, so didn't need to in the end, which was great. Couple of little mentions. Simon Finch got a second place in class. Great result. Yep. Colt got a third place. Colt Dwyer.
I think it's Dyer.
Is it Dyer? They did tell me that I got it right the last time, but I'm probably getting it wrong now. So Colt,
well done. Right the third time.
He's the only Colt on the grid. Colt knows who we're talking about. So we had another not a newcomer, but another new CB rider in the form of Danny Goff, who runs G-Force Motorcycles in Chatham in Kent, who I actually bought the first CB500 I ever rode from him with a friend of ours, and that kind of started all of this for me. So kind of got Danny to thank for that. So good to see him there doing 2 classes. I think he does the Yamaha Pass Masters, but don't quote me. And everyone else, Calvin Grimes, Rob Flint, Max, better weekend. Although Max didn't sound like he was very happy with his weekend, but
blow an engine up or something.
I think he blowed an engine up, but his brake pad stayed in this weekend, which was brilliant. So small steps. When we were in the garage, actually, at one point, Max was braking. Whose bike was he braking? Peter Woodall's bike. So I turned up and he was breaking bits on it. So I don't know whether it was like friendly sabotage or what, but I decided to escape quickly because it looked like it was all going off. What a track! Like I got to say, everybody had said to me it's like a roller coaster, and I was like, I love Cadwell. I'm not very good around Cadwell, but I like Cadwell, and it's like, I didn't expect it to be like it was. It really is like a little roller coaster. The thing is you watch it on. I said this when we were there. I was sitting there thinking about it. The circuit doesn't actually look. It doesn't ride like it looks on TV.
Yeah.
At all. Like all the other circuits that you've ridden and watched on telly look like they ride. That doesn't. It is completely different to ride.
It's very bumpy, isn't it, at parts as well?
It's bumpy. There's creases in the tarmac. There's off-camber bits. It's very quirky. Like getting the front end. I need the track map because my corner knowledge is terrible for circuits that I've barely done. So getting the front end go light at Clay Hill. And even coming out of Druids, it can get light on a CB at 50.
On a big bikes.
On a CB, it's like you're loft in the front wheel in places that you just don't expect it to really do it. But quirky, fast, blind, fun, loads of places to overtake, loads of places to be brave. I mean, Cascades was my favourite corner.
That's my worst.
I love left-handers. I love fast left-handers. So Cascades was absolutely a bit of me. I did most of my time down. Most of my time was made up through Cascades, so did enjoy that. Great circuit, and I absolutely cannot wait to go back there another time because I was absolutely sold on the place. I thought it was fantastic.
We need another long weekend, don't we, with it? Another 3
days. Yeah, I mean, is there any chance that if anyone from BEMSEE is listening, can we swap Snetterton 2 for an Oulton 2? Is there any way? Yeah, is there any way that we can ditch one of the Snettertons, please, or maybe even Donny GP? Because much more fun, in my opinion, anyway. I enjoyed it. So possibly my new favourite circuit, I would say. Just a shame that I was 2 races down than I should have been, but never mind. We'll get back there. It's all part of the fun. We've got to say thanks to everybody that spoke to us, really, as well. James Llewellyn took time out to have a chat with us. Hi, everyone. We're here with James Llewellyn, who has joined us at BEMSEE for the first time. Hi, James. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good.
Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. You enjoying your weekend?
Yeah, it's been going good so far. Really good start. Considering we didn't have a test day.
Yep.
And jumped straight into qualifying and put it second on the grid, so it was definitely a good start.
Good going. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had a bit of bike trouble since then, but overall not too bad.
Yeah. How did your race go?
Good. Really good start. I got away with the leaders. They broke me a little bit on the first lap. It was a bit of a mistake, and that just sort of I couldn't bridge it.
Yep.
Then I had bike troubles from lap 5 going onwards. So
what was bike trouble?
It's cutting out. It's dying and dropping to one cylinder. So I still did decent lap times on one dropping a cylinder, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And all fixed now? Do you think you can find it?
We hope so. Went out in morning warm up, but it was still doing it again. But we've changed literally everything.
So just gonna go and give it a go.
Yeah, it is what it is, and we'll see
what do you think of BEMSEE?
It's run really well.
Yeah.
It's my first time here, and it's run really good. Like the sign-on was smooth, technical smooth, kit inspection was all smooth. Like genuinely spot on.
What weight category was you in?
I'm in C2.
C2 middleweight.
Yeah, so I weighed in at like 85, I think it was.
Nice. Cool. Well, good luck for the races today.
Cheers.
Hopefully we'll be able to tag onto you at some point. Unlikely, but we'll give it our best shot. We'll see you for a couple of corners, I'm sure. But yeah, good luck. Hope it goes well, and we'll catch up with you again. Hopefully later in the year you'll come back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan. We might be here on the 600 as well. So
good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. That was on camera.
He was flying on it all weekend.
He was quick. Him and Cottenham, I think, have got a bit of a thing going on where they.
Swearing at each other.
Swearing at each other whilst riding, which is all good. Northie and I have been doing that for a couple of years. So, well, obviously Dan North didn't turn up to Oulton Park, couldn't make it, but I believe he's back for Snetterton. You're not at Snetterton.
No, unfortunately not.
No, I will be at Snetterton. Mark Osborne is returning to his CB 500 racing at Snetterton as well as his SV 650. So good to have Mark back on the grid on a CB as well. We have actually got some new names on the CB grid for Snet. Excuse me, I will find it. This is terrible producing. New riders for Snet are Joe Baldry, Matt Goodman, Luke McRae. I don't know what the relationship is, if at all, with Max. Mark Osborne, obviously. Phil Harker and Paul Robson. So, a few new names for Snet. I don't know if it's fully booked yet. I don't know if... It is now.
Yeah,
I don't know...
I saw something said there's 4 places left. This was a week ago, so...
Right.
Yeah, I think it is. So it should be a good one.
I haven't actually got the full rider list yet. If I can get it before I put this out, I'll put it up on the screen. But I don't know if we've got Llewellyn, Cottenham. I'm sure Kershaw will be there. I'm assuming Courtney's going to be there. I don't think we'll see Fraser. Bit of a way. Bit of a trek from the Isle of Man to Snetterton.
If you're going to pick any track, it probably isn't that one, is it? Let's face it.
Yeah. No. So, and we've got to say also thank you to Matt Sisson at Checkered Flag Images. I can't get my words out today. Some great pictures. You'll have seen them throughout this podcast. I'll have been putting them up. You'll see some of his some riders that he snapped and some of us. Sorry to show you so many pictures of us, but obviously we get loads of pictures of us, so we're going to share with them. Thanks to SF Parts, Fine Audio for supporting the class.
Alan with the video footage. Oh, I don't know actually. Do you know what? If we'd have recorded this a week earlier, which I think we tried to, we were just both so busy. I was going to put it up on here. Couple of guys on Facebook did Alan a huge favour. And Alan had been struggling to use his laptop.
it was getting old and he was struggling to do all the editing. Now, bear in mind, Alan Flack records every single race from every race weekend, edits all of the different corners together like a TV show, all him like a TV broadcasting, all done himself with the commentary, follows pans with the bikes and everything, puts graphics on the screen as to who's leading the race down to like 5th place.
Yes, it's a lot
It's
of work.
loads of work for the amount of races, like 17 races a day or whatever it is. It's crazy the amount of work the man does. And his laptop was getting old. And the guys from Grassroots to GP started a GoFundMe. I think it was Henry Mack and Hudson Kai or Hudson Cooper who set it up. Maybe. I'm sorry if I've got that wrong. But they did that to get him a new laptop because his laptop was dying, and it went wild, this GoFundMe. I stuck a donation in from us because someone who takes the time out to do that and put that much effort in,
just for our benefit, let's face it.
Yeah, he's not doing it for himself. It's just so that, because you won't get that at another club with us being respectful. You won't get somebody taking the time out to record every race like a TV show so that you can watch it back later on from the outside perspective. So it's fantastic. They hit the target. I'm assuming that laptop's been ordered, but I think that I can't remember what the target was in the end. I think it was about £1,300. I mean, that buys you a pretty decent laptop. So hopefully Alan can enjoy a bit of extra free time now that his videos will process a bit quicker and render a bit quicker. So that's great to see, and that's fantastic stuff to see from the racing paddock at club level, to see people putting their hand in their pocket to help somebody else out. That is part of the racing. You know, when we were at racing, Brian offering to lend me his bike. Nigel Terry, who you saw in the interview at the beginning, and I mentioned, he didn't have any tyre warmers for his CB. I did offer to lend him a spare set I had. He tried, and it was tripping his Jenny out, so he decided against it, but has said that he's going to get himself a bigger generator for Snetterton and a set of warmers. And just generally, everybody just always offers help, always offers bits, always offers parts, and everyone is really helpful. Rob Carver's on hand at all times. If you need something, he's got it generally. Max has got bits of bodywork, etc. And just club racing is so wholesome. Everybody is there to help everybody, just from advice, chatting, like from the top down. So we stood there and chatted to Josh Owens. Josh Owens on the test day, and we was just having a chat about gearing, and he really didn't have to tell us. He didn't have to stand there and chat to us at all. But yeah, chill, down to earth, and he's chatting to us, and we're asking questions. And in the same manner, he's giving us as much info as we're asking for. And in the same manner, anyone in the middle of the grid or nearer the front of the grid, he's going to do the same thing for the rookies. So if you need information, if you need a bit of help, a bit of gearing help, just find people. Will Kearney struggled a little bit this weekend compared to Brands, but he was part near Cottenham, and James was helping Will out with some advice and some gearing bits, and like someone's always there to offer help. Also, thanks to James Cottenham for uploading his footage from the racing as well. You'll have probably seen a few clips. I'll have put bits in from his as well on the screen, so you'll have seen bits of his as well, and it's great. And I think, was that James's dad that we were speaking to when we were there?
I think so.
I think it's his dad. So his dad uploads it all, and he says it's just to help other people so that they can see the perspective, and maybe it will help someone learn the lines or learn the gearing or just get a bit of racing inspiration, which is fantastic.
Me, that's for sure.
Yeah, it helps me as well. I normally lay there at 4 a.m. in the van asleep on the morning of race day watching someone's video.
Yeah.
It's really
doing it's another thing though, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah, 100%. You can be told to brake later and accelerate earlier all you well like. It doesn't necessarily always work out. But yeah, another great weekend at BEMSEE. Really great weekend at Oulton Park in spite of my problems. You had a great weekend, great time.
And the weather was insane, wasn't it? I hope you guys get it good at Snetterton, but you've got to think at some point we are getting a wet race weekend, aren't we?
I mean, to get.
I hope it's when I'm not there as well.
Oh, thanks. To get 2 rounds of pure sunshine. I mean, don't be wrong, Brands was cold, but we had sunshine, we had dry, and then Oulton was practically summer. Yeah. Practically summer. So yeah, Snetterton is notoriously wet. Like it does rain there a fair bit. So fingers crossed it stays dry and we can have another good weekend. If it doesn't, we race anyway because that's what we do. So we'll get on with it and see what happens. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what the rest of the year entails because it's going in the right direction, definitely, for everybody, for us as riders, for the rookies as riders, for the class, for the club. The paddock atmosphere. There is definitely a bit of the old days nightlife sort of
in the pub.
Yeah, in the pub, that sort of thing going on, which is fantastic, and a good crack and a good laugh, lots of banter. So we're absolutely enjoying all of it.
We should probably try to get on a few of the riders as well to do a bit of a run through how they're going throughout the year, especially some who've done the other rounds.
Yeah, so we're conscious that obviously we haven't actually had loads of interviews like we planned to, and we haven't had another. We're going to do another rider podcast soon. Yep. We're in the process of organising who we're going to have on. So sorry if you don't like listening to us waffle on, but we will have some other people on soon. We are going to get a group podcast with some of the rookies, where we'll just sit and talk to them about their season on here, and because trying to get everybody in one place on the race weekend is so difficult. It's actually easier to get people sat at a computer and talk it out in an evening after racing than it is at the racing. So we will be having some people on soon. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that lot. Obviously, again, check out Alan Flack on YouTube. Check out Checkered Flag Images for your pictures. Matt's doing a great job of capturing everything we need. Thanks for tuning in again. And I don't know when you'll see Mark racing again. When are you gonna? What are you aiming for, Mark?
I'm hoping the Cadwell and the Donington rounds for definite.
Yeah. So Donington's round after next, isn't it? So
yeah, I think so.
So perfect. So not too long then.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we'll have another catch up after Snet. We probably won't do a Snetterton round review. We'll try and tie in a little Snetterton round review with some people from the round. So we'll at least get some race winners on from that or something. So we'll do that. But yeah, thanks very much for tuning in again, and we'll see you all next time.